Hey folks, thanks for the presence here. I'm going to talk about crash kernels, a bit of a typical topic here, right? Not graphical, but as Linux users, I guess most of you already face the crash once in a while, right? I am Piccoli. I work at Igalia, doing core kernel stuff, and currently I'm working on the Steam Deck. So the context of this presentation, the Steam Deck is the well-known game console from Valve, and it has a Linux distro called SteamOS, which is Arch Linux based. So Arch has no official tool for collecting kernel crash logs. There's a wiki, very explained steps, but it's manual. We don't have a tool for that. And so we have, that's something that would be really nice in SteamOS to be able, if the gamers face some crash, to collect some data, but what data? And at what cost, right? We want to be lightweight, to not waste resources, but we want to have enough data. So the message maybe, right, the kernel log. So little talk about what a kernel oops or panic is. So oops is when kernel detects an error, a bad condition, and the panic is like the reaction of the kernel if that's set. For example, you could set it to reboot. Usually it's like that. Some potential panic causes are null pointers, not like code null pointers, but concurrency stuff. Imagine one code is writing, the other is reading, but there's no good locking. So it could cause a panic. Lockups, soft lockups, hard lockups, hung tasks. For example, hard lockup is when kernel code is running in an RQ context for too much time. So other tasks cannot run, right? So you can configure a panic in these cases. There is the artificial triggered panic through sysRQ. We do that for testing stuff. Bug clause in the code. And what can we do when we face a panic? We could do nothing. It's usual, like forget about that. But it's interesting, if possible, to collect data, to take this opportunity and collect some data, like a VM core, which is a memory image of the broken kernel or the message, right? So we have two ways of collecting such data. Kdump is the first one. Is basically the broken kernel jumps to another kernel that collects the full memory of the first kernel. It can compress this memory image, cut the free pages and whatnot. The interesting thing here is that it's almost a full copy of the memory, but it's good for post-mortem analysis, for example. But the main con is that it requires a bunch of pre-reserved memory, usually 200 megabytes for newer kernels. Also, there's risks booting the kdump kernel, and PCI devices might be in bogus states, and we don't have a standard reset mechanism in X86, etc. So it's good, but has cons. Now, collecting most of the data, the pstore mechanism is different. So it happens when the panic happens. The pstore might save the message in some persistent area that we call backend. We have multiple backends like RAM, UEFI, variables, block devices. It's lightweight. It's used on embedded device on Chromebooks. It does not require, for example, KExec support, which is good for like embedded device with secure stuff like Qualcomm. It's very fast, hopefully, and transparent process during the panic time, and it requires almost no memory, or no memory indeed if it's like UEFI backend. For RAM, oops, you can reserve like 1 or 2 megabytes. The cons is that it does not save a full VM core. So we save like the message. So both infrastructures, kdump and pstore, are kernel technologies. They require some user space counterpart to set that up. So we present here kdumpst, which is the tool we're working for Arch Linux, a generic tool that is pstore and kdump. It's available on the user repositories, supports grub, support both Unity CPU and Rakut. We plan to support system deboot soon. It defaults to pstore, removes backend, but we have plans for UEFI, and it's very customizable. CCTL, we can set the CCTLs for panic and the crash kernel parameter. Right now, it's the default tool for SteamOS. It's present on the deck as the tool for collecting kernel crashes. So that's it. Thanks a lot for your attention. Feel free to reach me on IRC or email.